Hello and welcome to Watching Movies with My Pastor, where I, your Spider-Pan Jeremy, that you might know from the Fandom Nexus, watch movies with my pastor. And with me, of course, is my pastor. Hello.
Hello. How you doing? I'm
You're
Pastor
supposed to give your
Philip.
name. There you go. Make sure you give your name. Otherwise, they'll be like, his name is Pastor.
That's right.
Is he Louis? Louis Pastor?
There you go. Pasteur.
Well, because it is a timely type of thing, we're going to sit here and watch the 1937 Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. A classic film. I did, of course, find some information on it. This was awarded an honorary Academy Award in 1939, one full-sized Oscar, and 7 miniature statuettes presented by Shirley Temple.
Yes.
My cursor's not moving down where I can look at my other...
I remember the words that were said. She said, "Are you proud, Mr. Disney?" He said, "I'm so proud, I can think I'll bust."
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that so well. I used to watch that a lot as a kid.
So this is the first full-length cell animated feature in history and have revolutionized animation, although it has been noted that some foreign countries had done stuff like this, but not to this quality.
No.
Not to this level.
Not at all, yeah.
Film was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress in 1989 and inspired the creation of the Academy Award for Best Original Score, introduced in 1938. Now, before we start watching this movie, and I'll give you a few more details as we run the credits, I must note, no copyright infringement is intended and copyright is held by the respective owners. Content is shared for review and commentary purposes under fair use license.
There you go.
I'm saying this out loud, and you'll find this in the notes from here on because I'm tired of when this thing goes over into YouTube if you try to listen to our last episode with Superman, you need to make sure you listen through this feed. If you try to go through on YouTube, it cut a bunch of bits out. I had to have a bunch of stuff removed because it was getting blocked everywhere. So now I'm going to make sure I state that, and it'll be in the notes because we are doing commentary. This is fair use, and I occasionally have a little clip of the movie if it has something to do with what we're talking about. So there we go. I have announced it. It is going to be part of the show going forward. I will make sure we announce that as we start the movie. But now we've got it queued up. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And as the music's going here, this premiered on December 21st, 1937 at the Carthay Circle Theater in Los Angeles. Hollywood elites and celebrities, including Charlie Chaplin and Shirley Temple, attended, receiving a standing ovation, with some reports saying the audience was in tears at its beauty.
Yeah.
The production cost $1.49 million, which is a massive sum at the time, earning the film the nickname Disney's Folly before release. Box office earnings were $8 million worldwide by 1939, making it the highest-grossing sound film at the time. And adjusted for inflation, it remains one of the highest-grossing films of all time. That's pretty good.
It is
This
awesome.
still holds the place.
It's a great show.
Yeah, it is.
You know, the other thing, too, I remember, I don't know if you remember or not, seeing it for the first time. I do. I remember seeing it several times when I was very young. For one, back then, things were a lot different than they are now.
Yeah.
You, whenever they did finally have rental places, you couldn't rent this up until like 93, 94. I'm trying to remember which. I know it came out in 93.
They keep bringing it back out in theaters.
Yeah, and then 93 or 94. I'm not sure which. I know it came out in 93 at McDonald's. I was working there at the time. But I can't remember if that was because it was at the theater or they were bringing it on video. I think it was 94 when they brought it on video.
Oh, I think I've seen this actual book.
Oh, really?
I remember correctly. I can't remember which one when Disney had their 100-year store. They had one of the books out there.
That's cool.
It might have been this one or maybe it was a different one. I don't know, and I can't look it up on my phone because I was clearing all the things off my phone so I have room to take pictures.
That's cool. Either way.
But these books were neat.
But I remember seeing this. My grandmother was able to rent it from a library, only parts of it, just bits of it, not the whole thing. And then at the school, they were able to rent it. And we watched the whole thing. That was a big deal. The whole school, we were all watching it together, and we were, of course, loving it, laughing. Hi-ho, we were all singing.
Yeah.
I remember it was in the lunchroom. We were in Maplewood Elementary, and we were singing hi-ho, all of us. Me and Seth and all of us singing hi-ho.
Hi-ho, that's what, okay, never mind.
I
won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. This is supposed to be a Christian show.
Yeah, it is a Christian show.
Look at that. This, of course, is one of the first times they used the multiplane camera.
Yes.
And look at how that looks. It's not as cool as like Pinocchio, the stuff they do when they zoom into the town.
Well, this is the beginning of all this stuff, and they had to do more realistic than they ever had before, too.
Yeah. This here, the evil queen is played by Lucille Laverne, a veteran stage actress who removed her dentures to achieve the hag's raspier voice.
That's fitting, actually. That's very good. They did everything just so perfect. This guy freaked me out. The way it's moving and...
Yeah. And I don't know if that's a technique that Disney came up with where they would have like glass that they'd move across the animation where it was kind of wavy. And that's how they would do water. And it seems to be a similar effect. It'd have like this jagged kind of glass and they could move it with the animation. And so it would create this watery effect. And I kind of see this going on.
I don't know if my ears are going out or your microphone's going out, but one way or another, I'm hearing you click in and out. Just letting you know.
Oh, great. Well, I'm hearing me good. So I got a brand new microphone cord over here. Okay, so good. I should be good.
Good. Just making sure.
Okay. I'm going to check your headphone jack. There we go. Make sure.
Even I know this is a background, but even the stones and everything, the indentations, everything looks so good.
Yeah.
You don't notice all that stuff when you're little.
So Snow White here is played by Adriana Caselotti, a then unknown 18-year-old opera singer. Mm-hmm. Disney had her sign an exclusive contract preventing her from taking on any other voice roles to maintain the character's mystique.
Yes. People really diss this voice a lot. I hear it. I've heard it my whole life. Not my whole life. Let's just say since I was about 10. They brought it back out in 1987 when I was 10. You know, because the 50th
came out at the same time.
Yeah, 1987 because of the 50th. And people, I remember Disney made a big deal at the time on Disney Channel. They have a live stage version of it, which was cool and kind of creepy at the same time because some of the dwarfs were like dopey. I remember I loved him, but he's my favorite in a way. But I love them all for individual reasons. But he was a little spooky looking because they had these mask type things on. Well, I say mask. They were actually makeup, but it was like covering enough there. Anyway, it was a little creepy. Look it up sometime.
Oh, man.
Anyway, they did a good job because it was the whole movie put into a play. But, you know, they were celebrating the 50th. They brought it out, you know, at the theater. Oh, yeah. There you go. Somehow it messed me up for a minute, but I'm okay. I got it.
Yeah, I was experimenting with this thing. I think when it comes down to it, I've been changing wires for years, but I swear it actually might have something to do with maybe the antenna.
Huh.
Unless, maybe. I don't know. When I turn my head, it seems to do stuff too, but I don't know. We've been trying to figure this out for months.
The way that water looks is amazing too.
That's what I was talking about, where they would do that trick where they're sliding a glass part as the frames go by.
Isn't that amazing?
All right, now this is a brand new microphone cable, so I know I can't be that, so I don't know what's causing where it blinks out. But one of these things is just faulty. I feel like I need to mark this one, and I'll try to not use this one, and we'll just use the other set next time. And here he is, one song. He only has one song. For all the women and the feminists that complain about these princesses being one-dimensional, the princes this is the worst case, because he's one song. That is it. That's his entire personality is to come out and sing one song.
But that he loved her so much that he kept looking. I like that. That he cared that much.
Oh, but he's a stalker because he's weird.
No, he's not.
Yeah, no,
I'd say that anyone that
I hope your movie tanks.
This is just me personally. Anyone who could find that much darkness in a person that you don't know, apparently, I think the weirdness is in the viewer, not what's being viewed. That's just me personally.
I was trying to look to see if there's a way I could put a mark on this to where I will know that this is the one that's, because it's got to be the actual device here that's a little faulty, I suppose. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Well, see, a regular pencil is not going to make a mark that'll stay. I need like maybe a piece of tape. I don't know. That ought to do it. And I will officially mark this one as the one that has been driving us crazy.
There you go.
They did a pretty good, weird job with his nostrils. He's got like these circle nostrils. This prince.
It's not easy. It's interesting. She had, talking about the evil queen here, has a pelican. I never thought about this as a youngster. He has a pelican, what I'm trying to say, throne, at least on the back of it. I love this guy too.
Yeah. The woodsman that's getting sent out to kill her. Bring her heart back in this box.
I always loved he had like a...
Oh, that's not a pelican. That's a peacock.
Oh, peacock. That's a pelican for pretty. You know, it's funny. I was thinking peacock, but I said pelican.
It matches her vanity.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good... I love the shading around this huntsman, around his eye, and hers too, really. But I just thought it was really well done. I've seen I guess it was a jewelry box, but it looked like that with the little heart blade through it.
And it's kind of she's kind of singing along the one song now.
Thinking of it. It's kind of sad though. She's all like lovey-dovey dreaming.
Yeah.
And he's looking at her like, I'm gonna have to kill you now.
Yeah.
And he's not happy about it. The shading is amazing in this.
Yeah. But yeah, the evil stepmother making her a scullery maid because, oh, you're more fair than me. Which, of course, back in the day when they talk about someone being fair, is fair-skinned.
Yeah.
And when you read the actual Grimm's fairy tale, she was actually rose red because her lips were bright red naturally, but she was pale white.
Pale white. That's what Snow White's all about.
Right.
Which is why this new casting makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
And that's not a racist term.
It's not. It's
right out of the fairy tale.
Yeah.
You can't do that with most characters, honestly. Oh, his eyes are just glowing green.
Goodbye, little bird.
These animators had to go through so much to make this happen.
Yeah. I like the shaking of his hand like he can't do it and he drops the knife. It's like, I can't do it. I am so sorry. Your mother is horrible.
Stepmother.
Yeah.
It is stepmother, isn't it?
And the animation is so smooth.
Oh, it is. It had to be so difficult going from real cartoony.
Yeah.
That's why it's interesting. The birds and some of the animals, they still have a cartoony touch, but yet there's realism to it
this
too.
part actually frightens people.
I know.
Well, see, the difference is, they're used to stretch and pull, but from this point, they started using references, and they'd have someone act out the parts, and then they would draw based on what they saw.
Yeah, and to this day, you'll hear, I'm not saying about this movie necessarily, but you hear to this day that people will say what they did was trace it. And I don't know if that's true
They
or not.
didn't trace it, but they filmed it so they could look at it and see what it looked like when somebody actually moved this way because they wanted it to be believable.
Now,
if they did stretch and pull with Snow White, you wouldn't feel like she's in danger. She'd be like a cartoon.
Now, others definitely did. I mean, other companies, definitely did do their Tracy thing. They would
ray tracing has been done,
absolutely.
And you can definitely tell.
Oh, the Lord of the Rings cartoon.
Yeah, that animated Lord of the Rings is just...
It's hard to watch.
Secret and M did it too for the machinery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that's before we had computers where we could do an animated machine and make it look believable. So they would film the machine and just draw over that and ray trace it.
Speaking of Secret and M, I saw a Funko Pop of Secret and M today.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought of you.
They did such a great job to make this terrifying moment.
It is creepy.
And really, it's just her own nerves because she's just nearly been murdered and found out that her stepmother's trying to kill her and she's terrified. So they managed to express the feeling of what she's actually like. And then you can see what the forest really is like. It's just her own fear getting the best of her.
That does happen.
It's so great character.
And it's a dark forest, but then the light's coming in,
The lights come in, you realize all these eyes she's seeing are just these rabbits. And all these stuff, she's just freaking out because she's, been killed. And
it's kind of like what happens years later, like 20 years later, more or less with Ichabod.
Yeah. His own mind plays a lot of tricks on him.
Ichabod.
Okay, anyways. Now we're going to come up on the dwarves here in a bit. And Pinto Colvig.
When I was a kid, that was my favorite part.
Pinto Colvig plays both Sleepy and Grumpy. He's also the original voice of Goofy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I did not know that. That's cool to know. But that's kind of fitting. Grumpy, in some weird way, Grumpy has become an extremely, almost most popular dwarf in the last... which
everybody likes a character with bad attitude for some reason.
But when I was a kid, he was the kids. I'm talking about kids now. He was like their least favorite because they thought of him as being mean. He wasn't really mean. But when you're a kid, and I'm talking about when I was a kid, you didn't realize that. That he ends up being one of the heroes of the bunch.
Yeah.
And then somehow through time, people like the bad guy more than they do the good, which is stupid.
Yeah.
But I personally always like Happy and Dopey because that's more like me, Happy and Dopey. But I have Grumpy in me too. I think every one of us have a bit of all of them.
Well, yeah, because they're all basic bits of personality. And this is the first time you have the Seven Dwarfs given names and personality.
That's right. And Doc, by the way, is also a personality. They say, it's not a personality.
Because he's got there's a note on it. He gets his all wrong and he tips over his words.
That's right. He's a leader.
Yeah.
Everybody has that leading in him.
And people are always asking him, what's up,
Yeah, that's right, Doc.
And it's really heavy. It's really heavy.
Oh, Jeremy.
I forgot about this song.
I like this song too.
It's amazing. An 18-year-old is an opera singer, though. That's impressive.
Yeah, a lot of
these animals.
negative that people have found in her voice is they're in a different time for when it came out, too.
Yeah.
But it is an opera voice. You can hear it. Yeah. I mean, it's a very high voice.
The vibrato.
Oh, yeah.
She's a soprano. Very much so.
Yeah.
And I bet they kind of watched her, filmed her as she recorded it, so they kind of got the look of when she was singing. And
I love the rosy cheeks they gave to her. And I always thought that Snow White, when I was a kid, I used to think that she'd probably have to have blue eyes. But the more you look at it, it's all brown. It's brown eyes, like kind of a hazel.
Yeah, the brown eyes. Well, hazel would be green.
No, not hazel. I meant to say, that's not what I meant to say. Like a hazelnut is what I meant. Like,
oh, yeah, kind of a light brown eyes with black hair.
Yeah.
And they even put some highlights in the hair. Kind of early version of highlighting hair. I mean, now they get to where they try to make it seem like it's strandy, and
there's a lot more you can do.
Like they want to show that the light was reflecting off her hair.
A lot more you can do now too.
Yeah,
computers is so much easier. It doesn't take near the work now that did then. Yeah. I'm not saying it doesn't take work. It does. I know, but
doesn't take as much time. No, that's for sure. But this the hand drawn has such a style and an art to it.
I love it. They had to do a lot more drawings too.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
You had
24 frames per second.
Oh, that's a lot.
24 drawings every second. Yep. Although I was watching, I guess it was on YouTube. They were talking to the Aardman Studios with the Collider crew, and they talk about with animating stuff like Wallace and Gromit. They'll move their puppets, the stop motion, like every 2 frames.
Yeah,
and it helps smooth it out. Like, that's interesting. So they'll take like 2 shots, especially they'll do it a little different if the camera's going to be moving because they need to make sure everything's even smoother. But I thought it was very interesting. I hadn't thought of that, like that they would have to animate that differently.
Even the waterfall parts there, just water coming down the small waterfalls, and then the bubbles in it. Every little thing, the rivets,
every little thing they do is magic.
That's right. Like that, see, the little ripples, I meant to say. You'll have to forgive me. Words escape me now a lot easier than they used to.
Yeah.
Brain surgeries and all.
Yeah. And you're preparing for another surgery.
Yeah.
This coming week.
On my knee. Yeah.
Now, Walt Disney mortgaged his home to help finance this film when production costs soared.
Oh, yeah.
The animators studied real-life models, including live deer and doves, to perfect the movements of the characters, which I was just talking about, the animals, how well done they are.
This would become a tradition to a point. Now, I'm not saying every movie, but I know they did with Bambi. I've seen that.
Yeah, the photos they have where they got the real deer in there.
They would even, and this is one thing I like, they even drew the little boy, who we know from Song of the South, the little boy who was Bambi. They drew that little boy to kind of get his expressions and kind of make, I'm not going to say look like him, but certain similarities.
To at least have him emote. I actually heard him get interviewed once on the radio, and he, like, for the longest time, people don't really know who he was. And when he was in the military, it came out. Somebody found out that he was Bambi, and the other soldiers kind of would mock him for it a little bit. He's like, "Hey, but I'm actually something big. That's a big deal that I was Bambi." So they thought it was cool, but he tried to keep it from coming out to the other soldiers. He didn't. He figured he'd get some.
Well, they probably teasing him or something.
Yeah, they did. But he's kind of he's gotten to be an old guy. He's embracing, like, yes, that's right. I'm Bambi. I'm a classic film character.
He was awesome.
Yeah. Wolf whistling a shoe. Just looking at how dusty and dirty the place is, and that scullery maid's going to come out and.
Yeah, this wolf whistling and how bad it was, that they had a shoe in there.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That poor squirrel getting stuck in a cobweb. Ugh. Now, how in the world do these dwarves manage to survive when they can't clean up after themselves and even wash their own dishes? Yeah, they never swept this room. I bet that's what your mother says when she comes into your room when you're a kid.
Oh,
have you ever swept this room?
No, and you shake your head no, like these deer just did.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, wouldn't it be nice if whenever you decide you clean house, that all the animals are going to step in and help out?
I just hope I'm afraid they leave a lot behind.
Yeah. Well, don't they clean some of the dishes with their tongues and stuff?
Yeah.
Like squirrel tails, though. So I don't know how clean that really is, but
she gets on them though.
And this is what they did even with Enchanted.
Yes, I love that.
Or whatever.
Enchanted was fun.
Yeah. I didn't watch the second Enchanted.
It's not bad. Not as good as first, of course. But.
I just Enchanted. I feel bad. And here's the use of that multiplane camera, I think, there with the dimensions. But that one actor, he always gets second fiddle.
Yeah, I know it.
James Marsden.
Well, they take care of that second one.
But the multiplane camera was used to create depth in animation, a groundbreaking technique at the time, which I guess we already mentioned. But yeah, see the one deer, it's licking the plates.
Yeah, gross.
And that's supposed to be clean. And then licking himself and then licking the plate.
Yeah, see, she gets on them.
Ugh. Put them in the tub, yep.
She has to correct them. I love that. I'm trying to remember. It's not Norwegian. I'm trying to think of. Is this Norwegian? I'm just trying to remember where it's based off of. Is it French? I just remember.
This might be Germany.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Certain.
I just remember that my mother was telling me when we was watching this last time, like a month or so ago, she was talking about how in those places and the Norwegians and all that stuff, that they do have a lot of carvings, and you see it in Pinocchio too.
Yeah.
A lot of carvings in places over there. So you can see right there even. There's a little animal carving on the piano.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's the German thing with the Stein here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. A lot of the European stuff has similar things.
Yeah.
Europe is beautiful, really.
I love the squirrels dusting and stuff. And
that's an easy way. I like it.
Yeah. Except for all them cobwebs, this squirrel is like getting all the cobwebs with its tail. And it's like, how is he ever going to get that out? And the poor chipmunk trying to do it.
I do that with a broomstick sometimes. I'll take or something. I'll get a broomstick or something. I'll do that. Uh-oh.
Spider come down.
Mean looking little spider too.
What are you doing with my web? This is probably the most enduring song next to Hi Ho is Whistle While You Work, though.
Whistle While You Work, which I think kind of goes on to later on with Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
You know.
Spoonful of sugar.
Spoonful of sugar. And I was thinking, when they're picking up stuff.
Poor deer getting dirty laundry put all over him. Oh, stumbling it out. Yeah, if you fall in the stream, you get everything washed. Oh, goodness.
I like that.
I love this turtle.
The turtle's so cute. Uses his belly for a washboard. Turtles are so cool.
I like turtles.
Me too. I had to draw one a couple weeks ago. You remember at church?
Yeah.
I had to draw one hiding out in his shell.
Wonder what they did for the whistle sound for the birds that they were going to play like an instrument and has that.
I don't know.
They're really clever with some of the stuff they come up with there for sounds.
Well, they probably had to pay the bird a lot of money to whistle.
Sure.
Like that.
Here we go. This is a great scene in the mines.
Our men.
All the sparkles.
I think of them as boys, but they're not boys. Here's another thing. Ding, ding, since we're looking at the dwarfs, let's just address it. Dwarfs were our fictional character when this was created. You did not call shorter people dwarfs at the time. Yeah. There was no such thing as a dwarf.
They were little people, but we used the word midget at the time.
That's right. And it was not thought of as a mean thing.
Yeah.
But there was no such thing as a dwarf. That was created. Dwarfs are somewhat related to fairies and things in the sense that it was in Germany and such. That was what they called it. But it's definitely not a throwback or whatever to a small person. Not at all. I say that because some people always assume that dwarfism didn't exist.
Yeah. But they're very traditional fairy tale style drawers, all with the beards, except for Dopey, for some reason, has no beard.
Or hair.
Or hair whatsoever, yeah.
I think there might be 2 or 3 little things on the back of his head, if I'm not mistaken.
I love when Dopey does some type of thing.
And his eyebrows. Yes. Dopey, like I said, he's so cute.
This movie is good up to this point, but it gets so much better when the dwarves show up because they're such great personalities and characters.
And I even love, and this taught me how to draw shiny stuff when I was a kid. Just those little sparkles, basically the star type thing. 4 little lines, sometimes a couple little on the side. We were talking about 93 earlier. I remember when they brought out those Happy Meal toys, they found fun little things for each one.
Yeah.
And one of the fun ones, I'm trying to think if it was Doc or whoever, but they came out in one of those little carts, and they'd come out with a little diamond on his head, and it was a lot of fun. You'd push it.
Oh, and the thoughts they put into having the shadows on the side of the wall or the canyon wall.
Yeah, you can see Dopey back there.
Look at that shading.
Oh, it's amazing. You can tell it's sunset.
Mm-hmm. Dopey trying to get in the step.
A person watching it doesn't think about it usually near as much as the person who has to do it. There's a lot.
There's that multiplane having that looks so amazing.
Another company that did something near this time.
Look at that water.
And they weren't near as long, let's say 25 minutes, but another company that did it was Fletch. They did Fletcher. Yeah, they did some Popeye.
Yeah.
And they did like Sinbad.
Oh, yeah, that Sinbad one's amazing.
Sinbad. And what was the other one they did? They did a couple of them like that.
I mainly know just that Sinbad one. It's because that cave was so cool in the multiplayer.
They recently brought them out. I haven't got them all yet. I got 1 or 2. But on my wall over there, they have some action figures of the Sinbad, which I have on my wall over there. They have
neat.
Because I'm Sinbad. But they have several like that. Sinbad the Sailor. And right in the middle of that singing, I'm Popeye.
Yeah, this turtle trying to climb the stairs and having
the
to
shading
bite the
in this
stairs.
even.
Oh, the shading is
the way
so
the door opened with that amazing.
How the candlelight effect.
Yes.
Oh my goodness,
just so amazing. You know how much studying they had to do with this?
Oh yeah. I mean, you couldn't just write a computer program that will automatically say, "Well, the light's going to do this." And even did you see the bird went by? You could see the little shadow of the bird going by on the pole in the middle of the room.
It's funny.
And they had to think this out and draw it. Oh my goodness!
You know so much more as you're older. The bunny there, everything. It's a lot more too than when you realize.
It's such effort. This was the heyday of quality Disney stuff, man.
That started. Oh, look at that! The little candle thing.
Yeah.
See that guy on there has wax on his nose. Kind of reminds me of Mr. Peanut a little bit.
That's Mr. Candle.
Mr. Candle Nut.
Everybody goes to sleep. And you think everything's fine, but other turtles still trying to climb the stairs. Look at all the owl carvings on the side on the stairs.
They did so much.
I mean, the design of everything is amazing. And I even, talking about the sparkles, I've even learned over the last few years that there were people whose job were effects animators.
Yeah, well, I was going to say the background animators were amazing too, because look at the depth.
Yeah.
The 3D of depth. Oh, that was the painters for you.
Yeah.
You had to have basically almost separate paintings. Those for the stairs, one for the wall, or if they did it, basically you have to put your animation on top of it, which I know now how to do some of that. I do that myself, where basically I'll draw something and I'll draw another thing. Well, you see me do it with our, when I drew us, I had to make us basically erase our legs and all where it goes on around the chair.
Well, no, you didn't have to erase the legs. I put chairs on top.
Oh, well,
I did that.
I did the erasing of it on one of the pictures I'd done.
Because, I said, bring me the whole things and I will layer them in there and put the chairs in front. So I want to be able to see the legs all the way up until it covers.
What I do is I zoom way in, which they could not do. But see, we got a lot easier. One thing they did on the video commercial that was so smart was they used that animation, but there was no background there. It just made it look like they're popping up all around to see it coming up. So it looked like it was looking through a dark room or something. I can't remember how they did it.
I'm trying to listen now on Grumpy to see if I can hear into Colvig's style.
In. Now, who's the other one he was?
Let me see. I think I got to back it up on my notes now. Sleepy and Grumpy.
Sleepy and Grumpy.
Grumpy, because he's got a bit of an accent, I think that's where you get a little bit more of what you recognize from.
And probably Dopey too.
Dopey, don't say a thing. Yeah.
That's why I was joking. Right through the bottom of his beard. A sleepy.
That fun squeak noise of their shoes.
I don't know if they used it or not, but I remember some animation studio I was watching one time to do that kind of squeak. They were using an old wallet.
Yeah. It's like, shush the door.
So cute.
Search every crooked nanny.
It's everywhere.
Crooked granny.
This is great. Look at the birds up there. I love this. That little one's ornery as heck.
Now, the funny thing is their shoes are squeaking, but it looks like they're just wearing like cloth on their feet for the most part. It's not like they have soles on there.
Well, maybe they're going against the wood.
Yeah, the wood squeaking. But it sounds like tennis shoes squeaking, you know.
It does.
Hey, this place is clean. My chair's been dusted.
Thieves.
Whole place is clean. There's dirty working for it.
That's funny. I never thought about that. That's hilarious.
They didn't steal the dishes. They're in the cupboard. We have a cupboard?
Yeah. You know, it kind of reminds me of the whole, it's you sleeping in our bed? Whole Three Little Bears.
They're totally doing that.
Oh, look at him smelling.
Mm-hmm.
Poison.
Yeah, poisons.
That's like poison.
Somebody gone through and actually cleaned up the place, and then, of course, Grumpy thinks they're poisoning this food that they've made.
Always negative.
Yeah.
I love it.
Set the table and everything.
Table.
Oh,
don't Sneezy, don't do it.
Goldenrod's right in Sneezy's face.
That sounds a little like Goofy right there.
And here it comes, too. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Miniature hurricane every time he sneezes.
Yeah. One of my favorite things to see is when they had the heavyset man dancing for Happy.
Yeah.
That was great. And he looked like Happy, really. A happy looking dude.
Yeah. When
there
you got it, you got it.
And I tried to stop it. It didn't work.
Yeah. Well, if you can press the bottom part of your nose, there's a little, like a nerve or something right here.
Is that right?
You can manage to stop most.
The only time that I've been able to stop
it right in on the upper part of your lip. That's what you actually they're talking because you feel like you're supposed to be covering your nose. No, you're supposed to be pushing in right here.
Is that right?
Yeah, and that sometimes because I think it has something to do with the nerves. And I think it's because you feel it more here.
Here we go.
Yep.
There's ornery as little birds.
Birds. Yep.
I like it.
That tied his nose up in his own beard. That's funny.
This little one. All of them, I guess. The way that little one goes up in the air.
Yeah.
Mean.
Birds having fun. Just scaring dwarfs. Your place is haunted.
His nose looks like
blends right into potatoes. It's upstairs. There's a girl in the castle. Oh, and wait.
Oh, they're looking at you, Dopes.
Dopey, you've been volunteered.
Yeah, somehow.
Dopey looking around behind him like,
when I was little,
somebody else.
I was always kind of dopey. I was the one that cousins and brothers always made do things because I was too nice to say no.
Yeah, I feel like he's the youngest somehow.
Yeah,
the youngest always gets the crap like that.
Yeah, and a little too meek. That was me. Philip will do anything. Philip, we all want to know about what this guy's name is. You go find out. What? Oh, come on. Don't say no. You know you want to do this for us. That's how it was. I was the dopey.
Don't be afraid. We're right behind you. They're there at the bottom of the stairs. As
Look at
Dopey goes down. And who would assume if your house is clean that if there's something bad and wrong going on, then you should be afraid of something, though?
something they're not used to, so therefore it's got to be bad. Most people do that, you know.
They stole our cobwebs.
Oh, it's so funny looking. You remember when Hardee's had the Disney classic figure or stuffed toys? This is like 1984,
kinda
85. Anyway, one of them was Dopey, and it was so cute looking.
Oh, see, Dopey can't talk, but he can scream.
He can squawk. Not talk, but squawk.
This is so much like the Lonesome Ghost.
Yeah.
He comes up in the sheet.
I'm assuming they had to use it later. It wasn't been that very long.
Yeah.
Well, it's longer.
They're holding the door shut and he's trying to open it.
Just like I was thinking about the whole potato in the nose thing. Mm-hmm. That reminded me of just maybe 20 years later again with Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Whenever Brom Bones.
He's beating the tar out of Dopey by accident, thinking he was some sort of weird monster.
Dude, poor soul.
They're asking him questions as if he can talk and tell them.
It's so cute.
The only part he gets right. What was he doing, Sleepy?
I love where he's sticking his fingers up in the air and sticking his tongue out. One of my favorite things as a kid at Christmas time, we had these little, very thin plastic. Remember the old days when they make plastic? It was very thin plastic ornaments, and it was of the Seven Dwarfs. Mm. And I loved them. Well, one of them, and I wanted to say it was Sneezy. I could be wrong. But one of them slipped just a smidge, and his foot leaned against the light bulbs. These are those old big light bulbs, remember? They were very hot. And anyway, you could smell it melting. Ooh. And it did. It put a hole in it. But eventually they gave them all to me, and I'd play with them like toys. Because, back then you didn't get that, and they especially didn't have toys with them very often. Yeah. I loved them. They were kind of fuzzy. They had that fuzziness on them, you know. We also had, from the same collection, had Winnie the Pooh characters like that.
Oh, that'd been fun. I like Winnie the Pooh.
Me too. Whoa!
It's a girl!
Huh?
What is it?
What is it?
Well, it's a girl. Like they ain't never seen one before.
That it came out at Christmas time.
See, that's got to be Sleepy because that sounded like Goofy there.
Yeah, I did.
She's mighty pretty.
As at Christmas time when it came out, it had almost a Christmassy feeling to it for people. And then A Christmas Story at the beginning, it's supposed to be around 1940, and they had Snow White in the window.
Parade and everything, too.
And they had her in the window. Remember on the little, yeah. I'm sure, and they have kind of a Santa look about them, the dwarfs do. So I'm sure for a lot of young people that it did have that kind of a Christmas type feel. Because a lot of it's an emotional feeling, a Christmassy feeling.
Yeah. Oh, and she's assuming that they're all children. That's funny. I forgot about that. Yeah. She's freaking out. It's like, I'm sorry, they should be more freaked out that there's a strange woman in their bed.
I love the noses that go up against it. Plop, plop.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what I'd do if I'd ever come home and there's a strange woman suddenly sleeping in my bed. I'd probably freak the heck out. Like, who are you? What are you doing here?
But I would thank her very, very much for cooking the dinner.
Yeah, for cleaning this up. I was like, you better get out of here before my wife gets home.
Well, on the other hand, I'm not married. No, but I would actually. Nowadays, I'd call someone, hey, something's going on. Yeah. Back then, you didn't have that. I think you wandered into the wrong home and cleaned house. Yeah. I think you're with someone else.
If you're a maid service, I didn't hire you.
But I would be thinking.
I like bashful.
Oh, yeah. Do you see that tying in knots? Mm-hmm. That's cute. No, but I would be, back then, what would you do? You don't really have fleece.
Yeah. Well, of course, you'd bring your pickaxe in.
Yeah, that's
clubs
true.
And pickaxes.
I like them. I'm probably more like those two combined. Those are my two favorites. And my dad doggone it before, so he'd hurt me if I hear me say this, but he had ears a little bit like Dopey.
Yeah.
And I think, except for maybe Sneezy, I think Grumpy had the biggest nose.
Yeah. What are you and who are you doing? Whoa!
Nowadays, that sounds bad.
Yeah, boy. So now the question is, why is the princess in our house?
Yeah.
The funny thing is, Matt is horrible.
I like that he just goes right along with what he's saying.
The funny thing is, like, their naming convention is the same kind of thing you get with, like, Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
Where their name says what they are and what they do. It's like their own personality. The step by the queen.
See, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. He calls her out straight out. She's an old witch.
They know the queen's evil.
Yeah, but he calls her out.
They're expecting there's going to be trouble now, but the princess is here. Your mother's going to show up.
She's an old witch.
Mm-hmm.
And she does become that.
Oh, yeah. Might be in this room and right now.
He's looking under his beard.
Yeah. Those are those words you shouldn't say in a movie. Oh, they'll never find me here.
No.
Oh, yeah, she will.
That's like almost like
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Saying that in a horror movie.
Almost there.
Almost there. Now, as we're coming up to the dinner, I do want to talk about the deleted scene here.
Yes.
It was originally meant to follow, with Snow White insisting that the dwarfs washed up before dinner. That added some more humor, and they reluctantly clean themselves. Some highlights of the scene include Grumpy resisting. He refuses to wash and tries to escape, leading to the other dwarves forcibly scrubbing him. The playful energy, the sequence is filled with slapstick humor and lively animation, showcasing each dwarf's distinct personality. It was cut, though, because Whte, for pacing reasons, he wanted to get the story moving forward, and I can't remember what the name of the animator was now. Oh, excuse me. But he called him in, and he says, like, I know you've been working very hard on this sequence, and it's amazing,
cute little
but
scene.
I've got to get back to the witch.
Yeah.
And the guy he held it against Whte for almost the rest of his life.
That's kind of dumb. I mean, you can't help it. I mean, he'd
worked really hard on it.
And it's a good scene.
Yeah, it is. It's. I really wish with some when they re-release it, because the deleted scene, they'll put it on there, but all they really need to do is finish coloring it, and they could put it right back into the movie.
Because it is a neat little, I mean, the song is great.
Yeah. And Whte is a master storyteller, so he might be right that it does just to keep it pacing to go ahead and get back to the witch. But it's just such a great scene. And they should have released it as a short.
Yeah. And the other thing is this. You have to remember, this is the first time a cartoon had been this long.
Yeah.
So he didn't want people to get bored, I'm assuming. I'm just assuming. This is not a fact. But I'm assuming he thought they might get bored with the cartoon. They're not used to that. And they didn't.
Yeah, here's where she is trying to tell them they need to wash their hands.
There you go.
We just lost the scene of them actually washing there. Because isn't it also part of that scene? Oh, no, wait, the washing.
They do a little bit, but they have a song.
But I think some of the soup eating got cut too, where they come and slurp their soup, and they have a song about slurping soup. I think that's cut out of it too.
So there's some, but
it's fun, but it doesn't advance the story.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than what we get. Some, we don't get all of it.
Yeah. Well, of course, it's shocking, she says, but of course their hands are dirty. They work in a mine. They're dwarves. They mine things. They probably craft things, you know. She's getting all motherly with him. Go wash or you won't get a bite to eat. Marching off to their doom like it's an execution.
This is funny. He's so cool. No one's going to tell me what to do.
Yeah. Don't be walking into the wall. Kabang! Oh, my goodness.
He's like a kid. I like him. Yeah, he has the personality of a kid when he's mad.
And it's weird. She's very sweet and nice, but her will is stronger than Grumpy's.
Mm-hmm. She kind of mocks. Yeah. I like it.
Oh, did you hurt yourself? No, I think she's sincerely asking, did you hurt yourself? I'm sorry, Grumpy.
You're probably right. Yeah, here it is. Women folk. Courage.
No, that's the thing. This thing marks the deleted scene as being the washing, but here's the washing. I think the part that's deleted is the soup eating.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
But the song.
I used ChatGPT for my research because I didn't have a lot of time. And I think there's a mistake.
Well, the song is cut out of it, that's for sure. Yeah.
Well, many in Hollywood blocked the idea of a full-length animated feature, calling it Disney's folly and predicting it would ruin the studio. Of course, this was Disney's folly, and then Disneyland was Walt's folly.
Yeah.
After the release, critics and audiences were stunned by the film's artistry and storytelling. The New York Times called it a classic that will endure as long as the stories themselves.
And at the time, I'm not saying this is the case with everyone, but the rumor that I'd heard about was some people were thinking that if they do this, you won't need actors.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you do have this.
Yeah. So here's
maybe you're right. It's a soup
I think my notes are wrong. It's talking about the washing, but it's the soup eating that's cut.
Yeah.
Which I think that could have been released as a short.
Yeah,
to kind of keep the momentum going for the movie.
Yeah, I was going to say I knew the song, but I was wrong too.
Could have been a silly symphony of them washing this because they sing a song about slurping soup.
But they had this. No, anyway, different people thought that the animated thing may cut actors from acting. Yeah. But you know how much time that would take for every actor?
Yeah.
In fact, even when someone came to the viewing, he kept thinking, imagine if every film was. I'm like, yeah, it's not going to happen, bud. You're always going to need movies.
We need somebody to voice the characters.
Yes. Which
they had so many pantomimes, so they knew how the character should look when they move.
There's always going to be judges.
They're like Grumpy. Next thing you know, she's gonna be tying your beards up in pink ribbons.
Mm-hmm. This is about my favorite part with Comes a Grumpy getting thrown in. I'm just glad it's in it.
Yeah. This is where he's gonna blow water out his ears.
Yeah. I remember they made a little toy of that. I think it might have been at the Disney store. It might have been at Disney itself. I don't remember which. But you would push it, and through his ears, water would come out.
And this is where they realize Grumpy hasn't scrubbed. No one's gonna make me wash. Oh yeah,
you're calling on it, bub.
Done to ask for it now. Now they did do the 7D animated series where Bill Farmer plays Doc, and Bill Farmer, voice of Goofy. So it's kind of fun. You have the voice of Goofy and still playing dwarfs.
He's
casual whistle.
I don't know if he's actually whistling or if he's just pretending because you don't know. You can't tell if it's him or not.
He's surrounded. Get him, boys!
Oh, you broke
After
the
they
barrel.
just cleaned up, now they're going to get dirty wrestling him down, though.
Broke the barrel. Well, he's kind of got it coming.
Yeah. Dunk him into the tub.
He's going to take a full bath.
Yep.
Clothes and all.
Yep.
The wrong guy.
Get the soap. Kind of remind me, Devon, get the tables.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Whoop. Keep the soap, man. Don't drop the soap. And he did. I love how he's kind of mad. I don't get you like it's a critter or something.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
Boing.
Oh, he swallowed
the soap. There's where he swallowed the soap.
He's so funny.
Oh, my goodness.
For some reason in this, he's reminding me of Pluto a little bit.
Kind of. Everything happens to him like Donald Duck, though.
Yeah.
They're working up suds even though they don't have the soap because Dopey swallowed it.
They may have other soap. Oh, yeah, they got other soap.
Good for the soul and it's good for the mind to go brrr, brrr, brrr. Trying to hold his breath to get rid of the hiccups of the bubbles coming out. Oh my goodness. Oh, putting blue ribbons in his beard.
The problem with someone who's always mad all the time, at some point, and I know this very personally, someone who's always mad no matter what, you start to have fun because it's like you're going to be mad anyway, so might as well just have a good old time.
Yep. And see, this instead of going in and watching them eat the soup, we cut over to the witch. So it's the soup sequence. And it's probably, hopefully,
oh yeah, that's what it's digitally.
I got this from an anniversary release, Blu-ray DVD set and digital, and I think it does include where you can watch the deleted scene.
Yeah, I do have a DVD of it with some anniversary. I don't remember which one because there've been so many.
Yeah, I think it's like I got a signature edition or something like that.
Yeah, mine came out around.
Mirror telling everything. You stool pigeon.
I think mine was year 2000.
She's hanging out with Seven Dwarfs.
Year 2000 or something when it came out. The one I got.
Yeah. See, I've got her heart in the box. No, you ain't.
Oh, the actors? No.
Oh, the heart of a pig.
Weird. Sorry, I'm joking.
And this is a great, like, almost. I love the cape.
The flow of it.
But this whole scene is kind of
even the rats are kind of spooky looking. The eyes are glowing.
Yes.
Oh, just kind of skull. That's
the spell casting is so cool here that she does. It's so wicked.
What they did that was so smart here is how the castle there was very green, almost looked like Grayskull.
Yeah,
very greenish.
Well, even with his own sorceress.
Yeah. But an evil sorceress almost has an Evelyn look.
Yeah, I swear Evelyn was based off.
It had to be
black magic, alchemy, black arts, witchcraft, disguises, poisons.
See, now I want to say this, and now you understand. I'm a man of God. I'm a pastor. Disney was a Christian. Walt Disney was a Christian, and I want to say this too. When people say, "Then why do you have witchcraft?" and blah blah blah. Man, let me tell you, the witchcraft in here that you're talking, different ones you're talking about. There's a difference between magic feeling, as they're talking, and true magic. The magic in this is the villain. The villain, it's not saying be this way. It's saying this is what you don't want to be.
Yeah.
The villain to show that, I mean, if you're going to go that direction, there's magic, if you will, in the Bible, talking about how this is what you don't want to be.
Yeah.
So
and there's definitely a difference between fairy tale magic and sorcery in the real world where people are summoning spirits to do things for them.
That's it.
That's where you get into the danger. You're trying to call on demons to do stuff for you.
Just right there, it said black arts. That's demonic black arts that she was. So this is the villain. This is not magic of love like Little Mermaid or whatever. I mean, now the Sea Witch, that's different. But it was trickery too.
This is so scary too, the way she does this and drinks
the hair that they show here in a moment.
And the evil queen is consumed by her beauty and her desire to be the fairest of them all. Her pride leads to envy, deceit, and ultimately her downfall. And you find in Proverbs 16:18, pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. And the queen's obsession with the outward beauty contrasts the biblical principle that true beauty is found in the heart in 1 Samuel 16:7.
You know, what's funny is I get ready to say that very thing right before you read it. It reminds me of that verse.
I was prepared, yes.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good one, Jeremy. You did good.
Chat GPT helped me out with this.
That's good, though. Really good.
Oh,
that's good.
See this evil hag that she's turned into. She pops out from behind looking and freaks out the crow. I love it.
Now, I don't know if it was ever in the plan, but my assumption is that she wanted to be turned back later because how else? I mean, are you going to be fair?
Yeah.
With the big old wart on your nose. And
now, in the original Grimm's fairy tale, there's multiple things she tries to do before she turns into a hag.
I've seen that.
Because she gives her a comb and all this other stuff.
Yeah, I remember that. But they, again, back to Disney, having to cut through the fat, so to speak, to make it
down to the heart of the story. And sleeping death.
That word is kind of scary looking, you know. Yeah. The way it has a greenish.
Right on the top of her nose.
It has somewhat of a greenish look to it. Here's another part
the silly
I love.
song. I love the silly song. You, doing the happy dance there.
I love that it's got like that bird. See the long neck
Uh-huh.
Great.
Now, of course, that Snow White clap, you'll see that again in Robin Hood.
Oh, yeah, they redo some of this.
Yep.
Well,
because they use the same reference.
And not just that, it's and they do that with several of them, but see, also back then, you go a long time without seeing this stuff again.
Yeah.
And it was back at the theater again. You didn't know, they had no idea that people were going to be able to watch this again and again and again in seconds. This is where that big guy did the dancing for.
The big guy
and he had his pants hiked way the heck up, like to his nipples almost. I love it. This reminds me of my neighbor Chad because he does a lot of, I don't mean he's dopey. I just mean there's a lot of drums and all. He has a lot of drums.
I love Bashful.
And grumpy is you can't handle it. Here we go. Good golly.
Oh, that's great.
It looks like a little fish. I just realized that. You go right there, looks like a Japanese hat thing, or you call, I don't know what you call those. Oh man, that's high.
Yeah. Oh, swallow and fly.
Almost.
I don't know why he swallowed a fly. Perhaps he'll die.
That's right. The yodeling.
Mm-hmm.
And this was some of the toys I read out too for the little Happy Meal thing. They had Dopey in the blue long coat or whatever you call it, and had someone else poking out.
Ooh, smash.
That's the one you can see again.
You can see that again in Robin Hood.
And I think somewhere else too.
Nothing wasted, you know. They always find a way to reuse their references.
And it is a good 40 years later. So I mean,
well, here we need a woman dancing. Well, here's film when we filmed that woman, we used her for Snow White.
Here it is.
Do it again. Oh yeah,
they use it. It's more blue on the toy,
or they're stacking up to try to dance with her.
It just turned. I think it was the baby toy too that when they did
it. Dopey doing the snapping as I don't know why you'd put Sneezy on the bottom because all he's got to do is sneeze and you're going flying, man. But he's Dopey. He's not thinking of that.
No, he don't think things through.
Yeah.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, you'd think this song would be as iconic as "Whistle While You Work" and stuff, but
you do hear it quite a bit though, like the park and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it is a lot of fun.
Before VeggieTales, this was the silly song.
That's right. That's right.
And it basically has got a lot of dad jokes, you know? But I like it. Now, Snow White embodies kindness, gentleness, and purity, even in the face of hardship. She remains kind to others, including the dwarfs and forest animals, and never seeks revenge against the queen. This you can find in Matthew 5:8. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Snow White's purity and innocence contrast with the queen's corruption, reflecting a biblical principle of maintaining a heart that seeks goodness and love.
Right. Better to be meek than to not.
And here comes the sneeze. Kaboosh. And Dopey goes flying.
Yeah, blew out there like a missile.
Yep. Wiggling them ears. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's like he's waving with them. Everybody's having fun at the house.
Oh,
here we go.
Tell them a story. Yeah.
I love
story. Ooh. Yep. And that's how he gets the name Prince Charming.
That's right.
He never gets a name, but she calls him the Prince is Charming. So he Prince Charming. So once again, the feminists and everything complain about these princes saying they're not in depth enough. It's like the princes didn't even have a name until you get Prince Philip.
That's right. That's right. That's a good name too, by the way. Very handsome.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I like it.
Don't know why I like it so much.
Wonderful. It's biblical. Lover of horses.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a
Very
song you
famous
hear
song.
a lot.
Yes.
Well,
And I bet they cut it out of the live action because they didn't want to make it about the fact that she's in love with the prince.
well,
And that's
good
why
news. I won't know.
Yeah.
And this is not, listen, this really has nothing to do with the actress. She's talented, I'm sure. Just not my style, but
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll cry over that one. No, but I just simply mean, I just,
Grumpy over in the corner.
I don't think you need to make a live action of everything. And in my humble opinion, as some would say, this is one, because it is such a classic,
It is.
that I just think should have been left alone. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
It is, out of respect to Walt, for one, leave it be.
Yeah.
Plus, I already mentioned to you a while ago that in 1987, they made a play that is basically this, brought to the stage. That is fine with me.
Mhm.
But don't try to modernize it.
Yeah.
And in some sense of disrespect, because I'm talking about the actress, Rachel, whatever her name is. I don't remember her name. Anyway, I don't like the way that she was disrespecting this
Yeah.
and making it sound like this was not good enough.
Yeah.
That irked me. Weird in my rear end. No, this is not weird. This was the time.
This is great.
And this is
great.
This goes beyond time, in my opinion.
Yeah. Timeless.
It is timeless.
Yeah, and they're all going to try to sleep down in their chairs. We'll be quite comfortable down here. You know you won't. Yeah. And a pig's eye.
eye.
I love it.
Big sty. That's a gentleman for you.
Yeah.
That's kind of stuff's not sexist.
Well,
it's
Hebrews 13:2. Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for
That's right.
by doing so, people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it.
Amen. And that's right. And what is that? I'm always saying from Matthew 6:12 and Luke 6:31. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Yep. They're all rushing for the comfy plus.
Oh, you're going to destroy
They only
it.
got one pillow in the entire house.
Well, here's the thing. She can have the beds. That's fine. Let her throw down some of the pillows.
Eh.
Let her throw down some of the blanket or 5.
Dopey going to use the one feather left.
I like that. So, uh-oh.
Of course, all these feathers, Sneeze is not going to be able to handle.
Oh, no. He can't bite it. It's cute.
And she's praying.
There you go. See? Oh, well, we got to take that out. That's, no. You can't have that in the
Oh,
modern
yeah, I
movie.
know. She can't be praying and thanking God for the dwarves that have been so kind. And then please help Grumpy like me. Yeah.
And he heard that, too.
Yeah.
And he really does. He's just too prideful to admit it.
Yeah.
Even the fire disagreed.
Yeah. Of course, with all the noses these dwarves have, of course they snore that loudly because they got some big old noses.
I know I snore. I wake myself up sometimes. I don't even mean to. I think it's the way I lay, to be honest with you. Oh.
Boy, they're making me sleepy just thinking about them all sleeping. Oh.
Honey, hush. You guys are getting to me, Sneezy, Sleepy, and all the rest of y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, poor dog.
Gargle. With a whole drop of
you
water.
need to put your glasses down, bud. You're going to break them.
Yeah, well, he had to look like he was a character.
Oh, that's true.
Take the glasses off of him, you wouldn't really know who he is.
For the most part, yeah. Oh, he sounds like a dog.
Yep.
Of course, he does act like Pluto.
Yep. Using Dopey's lumpy backside as a pillow.
No go kicking.
I'm sure Sleepy here is a master. And I like the way that Sleepy has the longest of the beard, so he looks a little like Rip Van Winkle.
Yeah. I never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how he was using his beard as a blanket now for his hands. I was reminding myself of that earlier with his blankie here. I got this weighted blanket behind me. I don't have it on top of me because I was afraid it would get in the way. I don't know why I would, but I was thinking of that. I like how there's a fly sleeping on his nose.
There's those cool water effects again.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, you don't think about that stuff very often, but not only is it reflections, it's a reflection where everything's a little wavy and not quite right.
That glass that they pass over the thing to make it work.
Is that what they do?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Where they have this like kind of certain glass that would kind of obstruct it, and they would move it across.
The witch, she's a witch now.
Yeah,
she's pulling this.
Well, she was already a witch, but now she looks like what her.
You can
thing
see
is.
what was inside.
Yeah,
and when she pulls the apple
what's inside is outside.
This liquid on top, making it look like a skeleton inside. The symbolism is amazing.
They make candies like that at Disneyland around Halloween.
I saw that. I was there for it once. And I saw it. I almost got one, but I didn't.
Now, Snow White is tempted by the apple, just as Eve was tempted in the Garden of Eden.
That's right.
The evil queen deceives her, much like the serpent deceived Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Biblical connection in James 1:14 and 15.
Yes.
Each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. Then, after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. And sin, when it's full grown, gives birth to death.
That's right.
The film teaches the importance of discernment and not blindly trusting what looks appealing on the surface.
I was just talking about this with someone just a couple hours ago, actually. It was something similar to this, why it's so important to stay close in relationship with the Lord. We're not talking about salvation here. I'm talking about closeness to the Lord. For instance, if you're close to your parents, they're always your parents. Close to your parents and away from the ways of the world around us, you're always safer. I'm meaning in relationship, not necessarily living with them, but close in your relationship. That's the way it is with the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
You're always his children when you're saved by the blood of Jesus. But when you go out there into the world and you're going farther from in your relationship, you stay farther away. You're closer to the traps set by the devil.
Yeah,
because you're not listening to him as much or at all.
Buried alive.
Say it one more time. One more time. Say it. She's so good at that.
It's a poison not meant to kill her. It's a poison meant to put her into a sleeping death, so she's alive when she gets buried.
No, yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, I never thought about this.
Mm-hmm. And that's why she's laughing. She'll be buried alive. And so she won't get the love's first kiss that could be the only cure that she was just reading in her book.
Yeah.
It's like, she'll be buried. It'll be great.
And she'll be basically suffering forever.
Yeah.
For eternity, more or less. Suffering because no one's going to come look for her.
Yeah. Little does she know.
But because of the love and the compassionate hearts of the dwarfs is why it happens, really.
They couldn't bear to bury her. They put her in a glass case. Of course, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, but, I'm imagining if anyone's hearing, I'm imagining this is not their first rodeo with the dwarfs. Dwarf rodeo. That'd be,
you need to watch this movie without us, and then come back and we'll watch it.
Dwarf rodeo. Now that sounds like a fun little thing. Can you imagine
all riding ponies?
The little ponies they'd be on. Well, imagine the ponies on Willow. They come in,
and all the animals sleeping outside the little cottage.
Cute.
Good morning.
See you like a daddy.
Yeah, the old queen's got witchcraft. Stay in the house and don't talk to strangers.
That's a daddy.
Well, now, see, in the Grimm's fairy tale, she's also like 12 years old, so
that's
she's
true.
Still a little foolish.
Yeah.
Actually, I think she's even younger than that.
But in truth, she would be immature in some way because she's been basically in a castle protected.
Yeah. And they did try to keep her looking young because she doesn't have any, we'll just say, development in the upper body.
So she's probably supposed to be 15, 16, 17. Yeah.
And here comes his niece.
Yeah, he almost took the father role. The other's almost an uncle type. That's why I don't see. He has like 3 hairs on his head.
Dopey. Getting blown away with his knees again.
Kind of like a Popeye.
Yeah, I was thinking he looks very much Popeye. I like the way he grabs his ears and tilts his head.
Even though in the comic strip, just so you all know, in the comic strip, Popeye does have hair just on top of his head, and it's red. That's why in the movie, Robin Williams,
got a thin layer.
It's like a reddish blonde hair because that's what it was in the comic, reddish. That's why some of the new toys have that.
Girl crazy dopey. There we go. Third time. Go on. Go to work. Go dig up a
Even
diamond.
in this animation.
I don't love to see how Grumpy is fixing himself up, trying to make his head good.
Yeah, look, you even got the ears sticking out a little bit.
Yeah.
But yet pretending. See, that's what I like too. Is a hey now.
He wants his kiss too.
Yep. No buy or nothing.
Yeah. Oh, Grumpy, you do care. Yeah. And he acts like he's resisting, but he wanted it.
Yeah. That's usually
like that. Yeah.
Then there you go.
He lightens up. It was just
he's melting. There you go.
Yeah. Looks like bashful just for a little bit.
Blows a kiss at him.
Then that pride gets in there.
Oh no, the nose stuck in the tree. You know what I was going to say earlier was I always hate the inappropriate comments people make about her being in the house with those fellers there, but they obviously aren't watching the same show I'm watching, or at least not with the same eyes. It's the type of eyes.
And nose in the air. Yeah, good old bye, Grumpy.
I didn't like the kiss at all.
Oh, females. Oh,
get out of here. Oh, that looks so real. The way she's moving this there. And
the vultures.
And they're not her friends either.
Yeah.
They're just that wicked.
Yeah, look at them.
And you'll find out soon.
Look on their vulture eyes.
Yeah, you find out soon that they don't give a rat's rear end about her either. They're just pretending.
Oh, somebody's going to die. There'll be some carry on here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're just, that's the way villainous folk are, though. I mean, in this case, it's like, they'll be your friend as long as they think something's coming up for them. Wicked. I reckon that's supposed to be peas that they got right there. I'm assuming. Oh, yeah, it's like a pot pie, I think.
I guess so, yeah.
Unless it's, what's the kind of berry pie I'm thinking of? Gooseberry?
Gooseberries.
Because they're kind of green that way, I think. I've had them once.
I don't know.
Someone made some a couple of years ago at Christmas time, I think. It wasn't bad, but it was a little tart for me. Ooh, bird feet. Well, that is a lot like the old writing there. The remember the bird pie or whatever?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Grumpy.
Making one for each one, I bet.
That's nice.
And the first appearance. Oh, that look.
That's spooky.
That look. Oh, yes. Oh.
The shadings.
Yeah.
It's Disney cartoons that taught me all about shading and the importance thereof, and even the different shade of skin. I do it to this day.
And even the highlighting when you have something that's black like that, like a robe, and you have the highlights that they colored in there.
Yeah, they did perfect.
Picking pies.
The 70s, they got a lot. I hate to use the word lazy, but let's just say they did not go over it with shading near as much. There's a lot more pencil looking stuff, even in the Winnie the Pooh and all that. You can see a lot more. But in the 80s, they started going back. Like, I'll have to say the first one with real great going over it again was Little Mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in, and I love the movie, but even Oliver and Company had a lot of that black lining stuff.
Yeah.
But when they did Little Mermaid, and that's the first time I remember seeing the under eyelid. The under eyelid was so well done. I've never seen it like that done before till that movie. It was really well done.
Maybe you should listen to your birds that are telling you that this old hag here is bad news.
Yeah, get out of here.
And she came out the house, talking to a stranger, coming out the house, doing everything they told her not to do.
There's a lot of things. This is really good on this movie. The story.
And you're going to let her in the house. Something else they told you not to do.
This reminds me of a lot of other classic movies from that era and that time and in that place, too. Because I believe it's from the same area, Hans and Gretel, and all those had that kind of thing. Stay where you're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Don't go in, Yeah, go get some help.
Yeah, the animals know what's up.
Oh, animals... In reality, animals usually can sense things. In reality,
baloney.
Oh,
because everyone tries to say, "Oh, the dog doesn't like you. It must be something wrong with you." No, it depends upon the dog.
No, that's not what I meant. What I meant was, whenever they will give you a dog when you have seizure problems, they'll have dogs for that. That's what I meant.
That dog's trained though. Too.
Yeah, but they have certain animals for certain things that can tell when something's not right. Yeah. That's the reason why certain dogs are sent for that, because they're good about that.
But people ascribe, I guess is the word, way too much for an animal's ability to tell good people from bad people. Animals are not good judges.
That's not what I meant.
Right.
What I meant was they can sense when there's something wrong.
Like, yeah. Because like we had after Heather had her knee surgery, our cat went and laid and purred underneath. Because cat purring, they've shown, has actually got some healing ability.
For instance, I can't remember whose I was with, but their animal was treating me strange, and then I started having seizure problems. But they were treating me strange, and not strange in a bad way, but in a good way. And then I started having problems, and it just came up and was resting on me. I remember who it was. It was a dog.
Yeah, they seem to get the idea, like, I think you're hurting here, aren't you? So, yeah.
And they kept putting their head up against me in such a way, like, relax, lay down. And I did. I listened to them. Thank God.
Yeah. Now take a bite of the nice, juicy apple. And the animal just dragging the doors, like, come on.
I was afraid they'd pull their hat off already. My goodness.
It's very much like Lassie. When Lassie comes out and barks at you and suddenly they understand what you're saying, well then. And suddenly the dwarves realize, oh, the animals are telling us the queen is here. Romans 12:21. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good.
That's right.
And here they come. I think it's every verse that it gave me to use.
There's many great ones. Remember this too. 1 John 4:4, which I quote a lot. Greater is he, that's Jesus, who is in me than he who's of the world, the devil.
There you go. Da-da-da-da-da. Love the sound of the stampeding. I love the building of tension.
Oh, it is.
Because like you're hoping that they're going to get there in time before she takes a bite of this.
The music's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a play put into. It's so good.
But yeah, you can tell like Snow White kind of feels like something's off with this.
Yeah,
she's backing even into a corner.
But I gotta be honest. I've been in this situation before. I'm not talking about eating of an apple, but I have too often thought the good of people, and I've put myself in that position where I'm eating a poison apple, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because I've let my emotions instead of my mind do the thinking, and I end up biting into the apple. And everyone around me is like the animals.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing is the witch isn't really lying to her.
Yeah.
She's going to get her wish granted that she just made. And it's because she bit the apple that she gets her wish.
Mm.
Just doing it the hard way.
Yeah.
So it is kind of interesting when you look at it.
But the witch doesn't know that.
I feel so strange.
But the witch doesn't know that either. The witch thinks that she's not going to. And the building of the timpani drums, and then you just see the hand in the apple. Very well done. That is where I always say you don't have to show everything to get everything.
Yeah. It's scary with what you don't see when you just see her hand drop with the apple, and you're just like, oh no.
I know I'm old school, but I don't think you have to see all the blood, all the gore, all the everything in order to receive it. I think people want too much.
Yeah, and now in modern TV, you get all the stuff that you wouldn't ever have seen on TV, like this, the blood and stuff.
Yes, I know sometimes people could go cheesy about it, but I think people go cheesy the other direction now. If you don't have an imagination to fill in the gaps, I think the problem is not what is being shown or not. I think it's your imagination is the problem.
Yeah. I love the fact that they do catch her leaving the cabin. They're like, there she is, get her. So you can have this big dramatic chase, and the storm comes up. And just to keep the violence down, and it's not the dwarves that's going to get her. It'll be an act of God.
Yeah. And her own vanity. She's going to
get smoked.
And her own vanity and evil.
Yeah.
The rain, even everything looks so great.
I know the rain's amazing.
I wasn't even paying attention to it, but because it looks so real. Here.
I'm trapped. Yes, you are. There's those vultures.
They don't care.
Yeah. Oh, setting her trap.
See, she thinks, I love this. I'll get them all.
Yeah.
Here we go. Help, Lord.
Yeah. And here's the scream.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, the rocks coming down. That's so good.
Yeah.
I still think
the vultures are like staring.
It's one of the best of all time. How can you beat this? You can't. Leave it alone.
Yeah. The vultures are going to go down.
And I love how they just suddenly fade. They did that in a lot of movies, even in Robin Hood. You just fade. I don't know how they do it so well.
So good. And now we get back to here.
It looks real looking. There's a fade there too.
Yeah. Before we fade in, slowly bring up the lights.
Yeah, I can see why it made people cry.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, because people were crying during this, and this is where Walt knew, was like, oh my gosh, they went in with it. They got involved with the characters. Even Grumpy.
Oh, see, I'm getting all goosebumpy. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. They made the characters feel real.
Yeah,
as goofy as Dopey is, they felt genuine.
But I think Goofy was actually grumpy and sleepy, wasn't that?
Yeah, Goofy and sleepy.
Yeah,
and the animals outside.
Oh, Rain fits so well. You know. And one thing, my aunt, who was an artist as well, she always said she had green eyes. And when she was really irritated, her eyes would glow green. And she was like a bright green. She would tell me always that Disney was brilliant with the green eyes. A lot of the villains, including this one, they put in the green eyes. And she said, green eyes is the perfect eye for a villain. I said, you're not a villain. She goes, no, I don't mean me. She says, but green eyes when you're mad are bright green. When they're sad, they're kind of a dull green. And she's talking about all these things. And I never noticed until she said it. But a lot of their villainesses, especially, very green eyes.
Yeah. I like the way they do this. It's almost like they're telling the end of the story here.
And they're going back into the book form here.
Yeah. Like they did at the beginning.
Because you don't really
it's
need
nice. It's like they see like spring is coming here.
Yes.
The way they do the flowers and as they've gone through. And here he comes with one song.
Mm-hmm.
Because he heard of somebody was.
Yeah, he heard about it.
Because he's like, whatever happened to Snow White? I've never seen her over at her castle anymore. And so he hears Tale of Maidens.
And it's not that he didn't have a story, but this is not his story. It's her story.
It's not his story. So
he's involved.
Yeah.
But he is a hero.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for his love, she would stay like that.
And I don't want to hear it from people say, oh, it was that's a non-consensual kiss.
Oh, bull.
Maybe he should have just let her stay there in living death then.
Oh, yeah, he should have. He's a jerk. He's a jerk.
Now, in the story, it's actually she's got apple stuck in her throat and he dislodges it.
Yeah.
Well, this way, but
this is a little more charming.
This is more,
charming as the prince is.
It's more magic and fairy tale.
Yes, it is.
The overwhelming power of love.
Yes. Disney was brilliant in that sense too. Yeah. There's certain things they've changed. For instance, Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
In the story Little Mermaid, she didn't get anything in the end. She just stayed. She's part of the mist.
What it is she becomes a spirit of doing good.
Yeah.
And so she's always watching out on the children.
But that being said, it's not.
She doesn't get what she was.
It's not the love that we want. It's almost as if Ursula got her way, and we don't want that.
Well, Ursula's not, the name of her.
No, but what I'm saying is
she doesn't succeed in getting the prince, but her sacrificial love, she's able to spread the story.
And so it's, you want to see more of a cheerful.
You want like a full happy ending. Yeah.
And they're smart that way. And
it's hard to communicate that in a movie.
Yeah, it is. So because otherwise it looks like you're losing.
Mm-hmm.
And so they remember they're reaching children and adults, the grown child, which is what I do, by the way, in my sermons. I a lot of times make things for kids and kids of all ages. Yeah. That's what I try to do. By the way, I don't mean this arrogantly. I try to do like what Walt did for children and children of all ages.
Yeah. Because a grown up is just a tall child.
That's what I see it as.
That's as well.
By the way, a lot of people take that as an insult. Mm-hmm. Only if you don't understand. And that's the truth. Because you are the same person.
Yeah.
You just have more maturity in certain areas and more understanding. Mm-hmm. But you still have the same emotions. You just know how to deal with them more.
I like this, like saying goodbye to all the dwarves.
There he is again. Oh,
yeah, it's doing the same thing.
I want a full kiss.
Yeah.
I want smoocheroos. I love the sunset.
Yep, going off of the sunset.
Happily ever after. Yeah, that's great.
The painting.
Give me goosebumps, man, because that's what the music's great at. They go higher and harmonizing the way of fairy tales, and they make
and it's like the fairy tale castle.
The fairy
in the
tale
sky.
castle that it's a dream come true. See, look, Jeremy, I got goosebumps going up me.
I kind of got it too.
Yeah,
of course, not because it's cold down here.
It is a little cold, but part of it is just they got me.
It's so good, and they lived happily ever after.
Thank you.
Did not need to be remade.
Nope.
At all.
And I won't see it. Even when it comes to Disney, I won't watch it.
I ain't watching. No. Yeah.
That's just me. I'm hard-headed, I guess.
All righty. And I will repeat myself one time here as I scroll back up to make sure I read this exactly as I have typed it up. No copyright infringement is intended, and copyright is held by the respective owners. Mm-hmm. Content is shared for review and commentary purposes under fair use license.
Amen.
And this has been Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yes.
Watching with my pastor. And I think we've covered about every spiritual insight we possibly can.
That's right.
So,
except one more.
One more.
We just saw a castle in the clouds.
Yeah.
One day when we get to heaven, we will have a castle.
When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be.
Yes, sir. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout victory.
But I'm not sure what movie we're going to watch next, but we still need to do a movie that I ain't seen before. So probably, I was thinking 12 Angry Old Men. We've discussed that one many
12
times.
Angry Men is a great movie. I'll try not to take so long. I'll get ready to have my knee surgery. It'll take a little while.
So we might have a few episodes of playing video games with my wife.
Sure.
So, but until next time, thanks for listening, and make sure you tune in next time around.
That's right.
You'll find more stuff, by the way. If y'all want to be able to hear the audio of the film and watch along with us, go to Patreon. It's Neverland Podcast.
Yes.
I use the same Patreon for the Fandom Nexus as this one. Also, if you look there in Red Circle, where I host this, there is an exclusive version of the show. You'll find links if you want to begin to become an exclusive member, and you'll be able to get the audio of the film with it, so you can watch along with us to help coordinate. Make sure the movie, when you're watching it, everything matches up, so everything's at the same time. So we'll include the audio in the podcast as well. But otherwise, you're going to maybe hear a few clips of the movie, but probably not, because we were talking the whole time. So you probably didn't hear anything in the regular version of this, but that is the way we do it. So if you would like to be able to watch along with a little bit easier time to make sure you're in sync with us, then help out the show a little bit. I do appreciate everyone who does such a thing. All right, but until next time, I need to come up with a good way to end this. A good way to end this. Hey, go watch a movie with your pastor.
Grab some popcorn and watch a movie.
Wow, what did Siskel and Ebert used to say? I don't know. We'll see you at the movie.
At the movie.
Something like that.